It's Taylor Glazier. I'm a music teacher at Inspire Music Arts, and I just wanted to share with everyone my musical journey. I hope that it can be an encouragement to other musicians out there as I go. I hope you'll notice why, and I know I'm going to have fun telling the story. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's jump in. I'm going to start at the very beginning. I'm pretty sure I was singing before I could talk. God definitely created me with a song in my heart that I always felt free to share. And I remember being 3 years old and thinking to myself that I was the best singer in the world. Like I would hear other people sing and think, I sing better than they do. Pretty crazy thought for a 3-year-old to have, but I definitely had it. And it went away, don't worry. But I don't think I was ever nervous to sing in front of people until I was 7, and I was singing a new hymn that my grandma had taught me for church, and I was as a solo, and I messed it up. And I think that's where stage fright sort of birthed for me. But anyways, starting in elementary school, I had an excellent music teacher. It was Mr. Jansma at Bethuden Baptist School. So I had him from first through part of 6th grade, and I really loved him. He was an excellent teacher, lots of fun. I took piano with him from 2nd to partway through 6th grade, and enjoyed going through beginner methods books with him. And I started recorder with him in 4th grade and flute in 5th grade. So lots of amazing firsts for me in elementary school with Mr. Jansma. On to junior high and high school, I participated in choir, band, and handbells, and I loved all of those groups. And I also was able to compete with voice and flute voice, flute, and piano for CHSAA, which was a rated competition. And then I participated in CACS, competing with voice and piano. And I think I got first in voice this my senior year and second in piano. I don't even know how I got that ribbon for piano, but that's okay. And what else did I do? I started voice lessons with Mrs. Saunders. I think it was my junior year, or I think it kind of started my sophomore year and then was a little more consistent my junior year. I learned a lot of John Jacob Niles with her. Laura Saunders was also my handbell director and choir director at the time. So she had a huge impact on my musical journey in high school. And then at the end of my high school career, I took piano and voice from Katie Richards. And we all know where that brought us. So I really credit Katie with giving me the confidence to choose music as my major in college. I really didn't think I was good enough to do it, and she pushed me and encouraged me, and here I am with a music ed degree. So Katie was definitely impactful in my life, and we are lifelong friends, and now we're partners. So very thankful for her, obviously. And on to college, I went to Bob Jones University, and I got a music education degree with a voice principal. That's just a focus in voice. And I took a few methods courses. So I had cornet, which is pretty much the trumpet, clarinet, violin, trombone, and percussion. So I learned them at a basic level for 1 semester, and we would meet in our classes like once or twice a week, and then we'd meet as a band with other people taking methods courses. And that was a lot of fun because we were a lot more advanced in another instrument, and then we all came together and were beginners in these new instruments, and it was an excellent experience. Dr. Casero is the head of the music ed program at Bob Jones, and she is excellent. I am very thankful for everything that she taught us that I can bring into my teaching. As part of my requirements, I had 2 practicum semesters. So practicum is kind of like glorified TAing, but I taught 4 lessons in each of my practicums. It's a part-time thing. We went in twice a week in the mornings. and taught a few lessons and TA'd a bit. So my first practicum was with Derek Epps at a middle school. We were actually doing group guitar because we couldn't really sing because it was COVID. So I was just thankful that Derek was happy to have us there and helping him out during COVID. And then my elementary practicum was with Allison Heath. She was a Bob Jones graduate, music ed as well, and she was an excellent mentor teacher, very detailed, so I'm thankful for her guidance for my elementary teaching. And my final in-person experience with teaching was my student teaching, which was a full-time experience where you go in and you observe your mentor teacher and gradually take on their classes till you do all of them for a short period of time, and then you give them all back gradually before the end of your time there. So I really appreciated Laura Brown's guidance at my middle school choir. I directed 6th grade rehearsals, 7th grade, and 8th grade choirs. So that was very fun and excellent experience. Glad I did get to get my choir in there for in-person experience and teaching. For my choirs, I had 4 different directors, one for each year that I was there. The first choir is the University Singers, the freshman choir with Dr. Casero. She taught us things like sight reading and rhythm and solfege, everything to help us get ready to move on up to the other choirs in our later years. And then my sophomore year was collegiate choir. I actually had Mrs. Ute. I believe this was the only year that she directed that choir. And she was very fun. She's a very inspiring woman as a vocalist and a mother. She really does it all. So I loved learning under her. And my junior year, I was in chorale. So I was in chorale both my junior and senior year. My junior year was with the esteemed Dr. Warren Cook, and he has many awards and much experience and wisdom when it comes to directing choirs and orchestras and everything. He actually has his own group, the River Tree Singers, if you want to check them out. And I was very thankful that I was able to have him for 1 year before he retired. So my senior year, I had Dr. Andrew Hewish, and we sang some beautiful things in that choir as well. I have videos from most of my choirs in college in my YouTube choir playlist if you want to check them out. I took piano lessons with Dr. Lori Tercios. So I had half-hour lessons with a 5-hour-a-week requirement, so I wasn't progressing with it quite as quickly as voice, which has twice that requirement, but I was very thankful to be continuing to move forward in piano and just making the time to keep playing piano. And Dr. Tercios is an amazing pedagogue, so I was thankful for her tutelage. And for voice lessons, I had 3 different voice teachers, which is not how it's usually done. You usually have one teacher for your entire undergraduate degree, but that's not how it worked out for me. And honestly, I was really sad about it at first, but the more I think about it, the more I know that it's exactly what God had for me, obviously, but it was exactly what I needed when I needed it. So I'm very thankful now. My first teacher was Mrs. Pam Dunbar. She is a voice faculty at Bob Jones OG, really. I loved working under her. She is still a fabulous singer, and she retired after my freshman year, so I moved on to Dr. Shelley Beeman, whom I love very, very much, and I learned a lot about vocal health and vocal technique with her. I took voice pedagogy, so that wasn't part of voice lessons. That was a class that I decided to take, and it really changed my life. I love it so much. I loved it so much. I was able to take an internship with Dr. Beeman where she mentored me through teaching a younger voice student. So that was an amazing experience, of course. And then my senior year, I had Dr. Megan Stapleton, and she was exactly what I needed when I got to my sophomore year. She taught me a lot about chin up and open throat and appoggio and singing with both your soul and your body, incorporating everything that your voice really needs to soar and have that true freedom of singing. So I'm very thankful for everything that each of these teachers taught me vocally to get me to where I am today. My performance experiences included 2 recitals and 2 productions. So I did a junior recital and a senior recital, both of which are on my YouTube if you want to check them out. The cool thing about those 2 recitals is they were performed exactly a year apart. I did them on, both of them were on November 19th. It's kind of funny how that worked out, but it's also super cool to be able to see what 1 year of progress was for me. And so I really enjoyed those performances. I always wanted to do my senior recital again, so let me know if that's something you would be interested in. And my productions. So I was part of an opera my sophomore year of college. It was Così fan tutte by Mozart. It was opera buffa, and I got to be the mezzo role of Dorabella. Not because I am a mezzo, but because I was 19 and the mezzo range was much healthier for a 19-year-old to be singing an entire opera on. So I very much enjoyed that experience. It really grew me as an actress and a singer, and I loved the experience with my co-stars and our directors. So I will never forget that opera, and yes, very, very thankful for that. And my other production was a musical theater show. It was Tale of Two Cities, and I was just a chorus role for this, which was very, very fun. And thankfully, Tale of Two Cities had a lot for the extras to do, so I was very happy to be a part of that, and definitely an amazing experience. Other than that, other than college experience, outside of schooling, Katie, Victoria, and I started a music camp with Tri-City Baptist Church a few summers ago, and we were able to hold that. It was 7 days worth of classes that we did. They were broken up, and that was an amazing experience. I was able to make lesson plans for recorder classes, choir, and I wrote the lesson plans for a petite littles class that Victoria taught, and that was part of an internship that I actually did with Tri-City, where I did the camp, but I also directed an older group, so it's like high schoolers and adults, for a handbell choir, which I really, really loved. I love handbells very much, so it's very, very neat for me to be able to direct a group. And I do have a video of the song that our group did in our Sunday service on my YouTube. I believe it's in my students playlist. So that, and now here we are at Inspired Music Arts. Thus far, I've taught private guitar, group guitar, private voice, private piano, and now I'm doing a group piano class, as well as petite class and this Discovering Music camp that we've been putting on here in July. So I can't wait to see what further opportunities Inspire has in store, and I hope you enjoyed this story of my musical journey, and I hope you were able to find it encouraging.